So right now, this is for week 2 of this class, organizational behavior. Okay, we will be talking about the changing environment of organizations. Well, in chapter 1, we were like discussing that there will be a lot of change in organizations and how do we adapt to it. Okay, so um, well, if you get this video, all what you have to do is to write me a short explanation as to what did you get out of this video, and that will be your attendance and your grade. Okay, so let's now start. So on this chapter 2, we will be learning about studying this chapter. You should be able to describe the nature of diversity in organizations. As I told you, in the United States, this is not a monolithic or oligolistic um, environment. This is the nature of diversity. In the United States, by law, we have to be diverse. It's by law. You cannot have you cannot have all Koreans or all Chinese or all Japanese or all of this same kind of people, but you have to work with other people of or other nationalities. Describe the types of diversity and the barriers to inclusion that exist in the workplace. Discuss the emergence of globalization and cross-cultural differences and similarities. Discuss the changing nature of technology and its impact on business. Describe the emerging perspective on ethics and corporate governance. Discuss the key issues of new employment relationships. So this is the idea here. Okay, the idea is um, the changing environment of business. So this is the environment. You have the organization there. You have the different elements: globalization, diversity, employment relationships, ethics, and corporate governance. And all of these are changing all the time, especially in the United States. Okay. Now, the changing environment of business presents both opportunities and challenges. Both of these, it gives opportunities, it also gives challenges. Opportunities means, um, opportunities to grow, opportunities to, but the challenges are how do you work with other people or other nationalities. So there are 5 important environmental forces. These are globalization, diversity, technology, ethics, and corporate governance, and new employment relationships. Now, what is diversity? Now, in the United States, diversity is a law. A law. What do you mean by law? Everybody have to follow the law, and you cannot just have one kind of nationality in your work. But so the variety, what is the definition of diversity? The variety of observable and unobservable similarities and difference among people. Okay, we have different kinds of people. Okay, we have different kinds of, even in food, we have different kinds of food. We have different kinds of languages. Okay, now what are the types of diversity? Surface level. On the surface, you can observe them. Uh, Difference in people, including race, age, ethnicity, physical abilities, physical characteristics, and gender. Okay, that you can see the people like like um, like their eyes or sometimes their age. Some of them they look like the Asians look young even if they're already uh, old or something like that. Okay, so Gender. Now we have so many kinds of gender in the United States. Okay, we have the we gender, the he and the she. Okay, and all kinds. We have actually in the United States we have 33 kinds of genders that you can really see. Now, deep level individual differences that cannot be seen directly, including goals, values, personalities, decision-making styles, knowledge, skills, abilities, and attitudes. So these are the deep level that you really cannot see with your eyes, or you cannot see with your when you listen to them, because it's deep inside them, like goals. Some people have no goals at all. Okay, their personality. Some of them they cannot even smile, or they don't like to smile. You know, or the knowledge are deep, the skills. Okay. Now, what is the separation between difference in position or opinion among groups members reflecting disagreement or opposition? Similarly, in an attitude value, for example, especially with regard to group goals and procedures. So, so this is what it means by diversity. So we have 7 slides about this. Okay, this is the first one. The second slide is about variety. Variety in differences in certain type of category, including group members, expertise, knowledge, or functional background. Okay, disparity differences in concentration of valuable social assets or resources, similarity in rank, pay, decision-making, authority, or status, for example. Okay. Now, trend in diversity. Now, I'm talking here about the United States. The population is projected to become older. By 2050, the total population is forecasted to grow by 282.1 million and 2,419 million, 14% increase. Okay, that is by 2050. And then non-Hispanic whites are expected to decrease. Non-Hispanic whites, the white population in the United States is supposed to decrease, and the proportion of Black, Asian, and Hispanic will increase. And then we will have a talent shortage are forecast to rise globally. So the talents are what you were born with. Okay, so some of us are born with you have a nice voice, you have a nice body. Okay, or that you can become an actor or an actress. Okay, um, we're having a shortage of that. Or some of us are very good actors and actresses, or some of us are very good in math. Okay, or some of us are very good in writing. Okay, that's a talent too. Okay, so 5 types of diversity. I already talked about the surface level diversity, deep level, the separation, the variety, and the disparity. So these are the 5 types of diversity. So we have to work with all these kinds of diversity. So we have 5 of them. Okay, the most is the surface level diversity, in which you can see the the race of the people or the age. Okay, also in the United States, um, there is a law against age discrimination. Even though how much old you are, or you're about 60 years old, you can still work if you want. Okay, and if you are like 20 years old, you don't want to work, that's okay too. Okay, so hey, we have different kinds, and in the United States, it's by law that you have to work with other kinds of people. Okay, if you want only to work with your kind of people, this is not the country for you. Okay, now generational diversity, age diversity, may result in ma- younger marriages supervising older workers. Younger managers sometimes they uh, they they are the ones supervising older workers. Now the older workers may not like it, but the problem is the younger manager might have an MBA. Okay. Reverse mentoring, pairing a junior employee with a senior employee to transfer technical computer skills from the junior employee to the senior one. Sometimes, the younger you are, the people like to work with you, or you are more good with technology. Okay, I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. She's very good in technology, just 5 years old, because she's always in the laptop. Okay, so this is the projected percentage change in the U.S. labor force by age from 2006 to 2016. Okay, so you see, this is the if you're going to look at this graph here, uh, the people who are 75 years or older are now 84%, and 65 to 74 is 83%. So there is a big there's a big population of older people. So now in business, generations by birth, okay, seniors are called the people who we call seniors are born from 1922 to 1943. The baby boomers from 1942 to 1963. I'm a baby boomer. I was born 1950. Okay. Generation X, 1964 to 1980. Generation Y and millenniums are 1980 to 2000. Now, most of you maybe are in Gen X and Gen Y. Older workers may have a better job performance but need mentoring to adopt new technology. Okay, because the Gen X and the Gen Y, they're really, really good with technology because they were born with the phone. They were born with the side. They were born. This is all a joke, but they were born with the smartphone. When they came into this planet. Okay. Now, what are the issues of diversity when it comes to the managers? Okay. The business case for diversity. Diversity also fosters greater creativity and innovation. So, hey, because you have other ideas, you have other people of different backgrounds, so it gives a better creativity and innovation. Innovation means you get an idea and you make it into a product for so that you can make some money out of it. That is the meaning of the word innovation. Okay. So we have innovation and creativity. Organizational performance increases when employees have a positive attitude towards diversity. So positive attitude means you accept diversity. Okay, you accept diversity. Okay. Cultural diverse teams make a better decision over time than homogeneous ones. Homogeneous means only one kind. It's either all Japanese or Koreans or all Chinese. Okay, huh? But if you have a team that's composed of different values, and ideas coming from that culture, so now you become better. Okay, I know that there are so many what we call ethnic-centric. My culture is better than anybody else. Okay, huh? Or and I'm working with those kinds of people right now. Okay, and it's really hard because they always think they're better than anybody else. Okay, women in top management results in more innovation. Now, in the United States, women are more powerful now than men. Okay, and then we have the Title 7 and the Civil Rights Act of 1974 prohibits. This is the law, discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. Okay, so religion, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists. They have all have to work together. Okay, race, black, white, Asian. Hey, they all have to work together too. And national origin, coming from Japan, Korea. Okay, sometimes they don't really get along the, with each other. Okay. This is the barriers to inclusion, the like me bias, prepare to associate with others they perceive to be like themselves. These are the things that can stop you, can stop diversity, stereotypes, a belief about an individual or a group based on the idea that everyone in particular group will behave the same way or have the same characteristics. Like, oh, like I have a friend, he's so scared about black people, you know, uh, they think all of them are hoodlums and then prejudice, outright bigotry, or intolerance of other groups. Now, this is mostly like well, I don't really find this with the Chinese. They're okay, but I find this with other Asians. I will not anymore mention their, but they're so prejudiced. Okay. Now perceive a threat of loss. If some employees perceive a direct threat to their own career opportunities, they may feel that they need to protect their own prospects by impending diversity effort. Ethnocentrism, the belief that one's own language, okay, native country, cultural values, and norms are superior to all others. This is what we call ethnocentrism. Okay, we're the best. We're the best in Asia. Okay, you always hear that from some groups there in Asia. Okay, huh? Or we're the best in Europe. Unequal access to organizational networks. Women and minorities are often excluded from organizational networks, which can be important for job performance opportunities of being seen as a candidate for promotion. So these are the barriers. What stops diversity? What stops diversity? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you have these ideas in your head and you want to stay in the United States, forget about the United States. Okay. So managing diversity. How do you manage it? How do you manage yourself to accept diversity? Top management support for diversity. Top management should always support diversity. Okay. Reciprocal mentoring matches senior employees with diverse junior employees to allow both individuals to learn about different groups. So the young and the old, they should mix. Older adults may benefit from self-paced learning environments and confidence boosting in the intervention. It is not so older like me. I'm an old man. Okay, huh? So sometimes I think about what's my problem. Okay, it is not realistic to claim or to pursue I am totally unbiased stance. So hey, you cannot say I'm totally unbiased because it's not true. You are biased somewhat. Okay, so you have to manage your bias. You have to manage, and what are these bias? You have to manage them. Okay, you have to manage them. You have to ask yourself, what am I so scared about these other groups? Okay, what am I so scared about these other groups? And sometimes you have to go out with them and check them out. Check them out. Hey, um, so now we have 5 slides of globalization and business. What is globalization? Globalization is internationalization of business activities and shift towards an integrated global economy. There are other countries that you get the products from them, or we get the products. United States gets it from them, or they need products from the United States. Okay, right now China, they have good products there. Okay, they're very diverse, but right now the leader there he's trying to become China for China. Okay, of course Donald Trump tried that too, America first, but he's gone. And Biden has another idea. Okay, so what are the factors of increasing globalization? Some people they said, hey, let's stop globalization. You can never stop globalization. It will never be stopped. You have to just accept it. Advances in communication and transportation, okay? Businesses have expanded internationally to increase their markets, control of labor, distribution cost. So these are the factors that increase globalization. And lastly, increase in international competition. Okay, so it's really a big problem uh, for some of us about globalization. Globalization is something that is really true. Cultural competence. What's culture? A set of shared values, often taken for granted, that help people in a group, organization, or society understand which actions are considered acceptable and which actions are deemed unacceptable. So that's what a culture is. Like language is part of the culture, bowing is part of the culture. Cultural competence, the ability to interact effectively with people of different cultures. Okay. Awareness of our worldwide and our reaction to people who are different. Okay, and awareness, our attitude towards cultural differences, knowledge of different worldviews and cultural practices, cross-cultural skills. Okay, so these are the this is what we call cultural competence and what culture is. Okay. Now, if you have any questions about this, you can when you um, when you write your ideas for grading, you can ask the questions and so we can answer it next week. Okay. Cultural cul- Cross-cultural differences and similarities. So we have the boundaries, cultural and national boundaries. Mexico and United States, there's a boundary there. But if you go to Mexico, it's totally different. Like, hey, what happened here? And then you go to the United States, it's like, what happened here also? Okay. Behavior in organizational setting across cultures. Culture is one of the major cause of this variation. Organizations, the way they are structured, appear to be growing increasingly similar. The same individual behaves differently in different cultures. Sometimes when you go back to your country, you become different. When you come to the United States, you are a different person because of the cultural setting. So the same individual will act differently when they are in their country and when they're in the United States, or going to one country to another also. Cultural diversity can be an important source of synergy in enhancing organizational effectiveness. Okay. Now, globalization, specific cultural issues. Gert Hofstad research. Now, this is another author here that he researched about issues about culture. His name is Gert Hofstad. Looks like he's German or something. That attitudes and behavior differ significantly because of values and beliefs that characterize those countries. So each different countries, you say, they have different, they have different way of doing things in that particular country. Okay, they have different ways. And me, I've been to so many countries, and sometimes, or even in even here in the United States, like this international student thing, I see different kinds of people, and sometimes I, I'm just like, wow, look at this, or they say, wow, look at the United States. Okay, look at the United States. Now, ask yourself, when you first came to the United States, what was different from the behavior of people here to the behavior of people in your countries? Okay, maybe you can write that down on your essay. Hey, okay, uh, when I was in my country, this is the way we do things. When I came to the United States, hey, they're what is it? You know, tell me about it in your short essay. Okay, what makes what makes what did you see in your country that you don't see here, and what do you see here that you don't see in your country? Okay, so these are the categories that this guy Gert put. Individualism. The United States is a very individualistic country. We always think about ourselves. We don't think about the group. Collectivism. Some other countries, they work together. Okay, they're not individualistic. And then the power distance. I was watching a movie in France. They hug, they kiss, they don't even know each other. That is not in the United States. We have a power distance here because we're individualistic. Um, we only have the power distance is kind of like 3 to 5, 3 to we don't really hug, we don't kiss. People we don't know. Okay, and then uncertainty avoidance. If you're not certain, you get scared. Okay, huh? If some people, if they're uncertain, they're scared, or they have to be certain about things before they can buy something or do something. And then some other countries are very masculinity. Um, they men is always should go first than women. Okay, huh? Or men should sit down, and the woman should just serve coffee or something. And most countries are very masculinity, except in the United States. Okay, huh? Um, women are very powerful here. Okay, long-term orientation. Okay, you have long-term goals, or you think about the future. There are some cultures that they don't think about the future. They only think about today, or they think about the past, how they were living in the past. Oh my gosh, I was the king, I was the queen. Okay, huh? So we have that kind of uh, mindset. Okay, huh? Today I was looking at the Queen Elizabeth thing. That's not, um, we don't have that in the United States. Okay, it's very hard for me to understand what they're doing there. Okay, of course, hey, let's have a king. We don't have a king here. Our king here is only good for 4 years, and if the king here doesn't, or we call that president, it doesn't cannot serve the people, that king is gone. Okay, or that president is gone. And then we have short-term orientation. We only think about today and nothing about the future. Okay. So this is this guy Halstead. He's an author. Okay, huh? And this is what he found out: individualism, collectivism, power distance, uncertainty avoidance, masculinity, okay, also materialism, long-term values, and short-term values. So these are the primary dimensions when it comes to uh, culture or diversity. Okay. Now, this is work-related differences in 10 countries. So you see, if you're going to look at this country like Japan, okay, it's muscular, power distance, okay, huh? So you can look at this Israel, the Jewish people, Germany, Venezuela, United States, Sweden. Okay, look at this and reflect on it. Reflect on these differences here. Okay. Globalization and business, global perspective, a willingness to open and to learn alternative systems and meanings, other people and cultures, and the capacity to avoid assuming that people everywhere are the same. People anywhere are not the same. Okay. Individually, people are not the same. Collectively, they're not the same. In the US, nothing is the same. Okay. Technology and business. What is technology? The tool that you use to create products, including both physical goods and intangible services. Intangible services is like a school or something, or services that you really cannot see the product. Now, in manufacturing, what do you do in manufacturing? You transform resources into tangible outcomes. Tangible is something that you can touch, you can feel, okay, that are sold to others. Okay. Service organizations. Now we have two kinds of business. We have manufacturing and or making of a product and service organization. One that transforms resources into intangible output that creates time or place or utility for its customers. Okay. A school. This school is a service organization. Okay. What's our product? Our product is knowledge, and also like some of you are just here, like, hey, I just want to get my student visa. Okay, and and check out the United States if this country is for me or not. Okay, so tech, technology and competition, maintaining leadership position in technology basis is the basis of competition for some firms technology. Okay, coping and decreasing cycle, the time it takes a firm to accomplish a recurring activity or function, making deliveries, processing, credit card payments. Okay, this is like okay. Information technology and social media. Right now, it's all social media. Social media. We because it's we're on the knowledge era. Okay, huh? Advantages the linear and more flexible organization, increase collaboration, improve management processes and systems. What are the disadvantages? Less personal communication, less downtime to increase sense of communication and decision making. Okay, now ethics and corporate governance. Ethics, what is ethics? Ethics are the rules for organizations or group rules. A person's belief regarding what is right and what is wrong in a given situation. Now, this is, but you have to look at the group first. Okay, you have to look at the group, and then what is right and wrong on that group in that group. Okay, treatment of employees, hiring, firing, working conditions, respect and privacy. How do you treat your employees? Okay, huh? So, well, different cultures have different way of treating employees. How employees are treated in the organization, conflict of interest, secrecy, confidentiality, personal internet use, unacceptable ab absenteeism. Okay. Now, treatment of economic agents. Now, what are the economic customers? How do you treat your customers? How do you treat your competitors? How do you treat your stockholders, suppliers, dealers, and unions? So now these are all economic agents. Okay, they have what's an economic agent? There is an interest of that agent in the success or failure of the organization. Okay, that's what an economic agent is, this one. Okay. So there is a right and wrong on how do you treat your customers, competitors, stockholders, suppliers, dealers, and union. Okay, so we have different ways of doing this. Okay, so managerial ethics. Managers face a variety of ethical situations. Okay, because of the diversity, you have different cultures there. You have different groups. Okay, you have different individuals. In most cases, this situation involved are, how an organization treats its employees, how the employee treats the organization, and how employees and organization treat other economic agents, which are the customers, okay, especially the customers. In the United States, the customer is always right because they're the one paying for your product or your services. The customer is always right. Okay, in some other countries, the customer is always wrong. And I've seen people like this. I've seen people. I went to the countries that you go to the store, you cannot even touch anything that they're selling. Okay, huh? Because, hey, don't touch that. Okay, you touch that, you pay. Okay, huh? But there are some countries that are, hey, they really want you to look at the product. Okay, huh? They really want you to look at the product. Okay. Now, corporate governance refers to the oversight of public corporations by the board of directors. Now, these are public corporations, like big corporations that they sell their ownership. The management and the owners are different groups of people. Okay. Governance issues proper management of the business in the best interest of shareholders and other stakeholders. Stakeholders are the customer, the people who are connected to the shareholders are the owners. These are the owners. These are the stakeholders. Okay, the stakeholders have something to do with the business, but they are not the owners. Okay, independence of the board from the business. The board is the one making the rules for the business or making the ethics for the business of what is right and what is wrong. Okay. Now in the United States, it's very important to have a diverse board of director, so that because if you only have one kind of board of directors, okay, that the culture of that board will be the same culture from the country where all these people came from. And it's really messed up. Okay, I'm telling you, it's messed up because I've worked with these kinds of people. Okay, huh? They are really, they always say, oh, in my country it's like this, in my country it's like that. Well, why don't you just go back to your country? You are now in the United States. This is a different country. Okay, if it's like that in your country, hey, go back. Okay, you have to. Diversity is part of United States way of life. Diversity is a part of the United States way of life. Remember that. What is diversity? All kinds of people work together. All kinds of people work together. Okay? So now we have social responsibility. Businesses living and working together or the common good of valuing human dignity. Because what is in the United States and the Constitution? All men are created equal. All men are created equal. If they are equal, they you value the human dignity of all and every employee that you have. Have lasting effects on social responsibility effort should be integrated into culture of the organization. The international organization, now we have the ISO here, we have created a variety of standards that help organizations to gain international acceptance of their practices and outcomes. There are so many groups that will help the company, you know, uh, accept all practices and outcomes. Now, the new employment relationship, management of knowledge and workers. Those employees who add value in an organization simply because of what they know. Okay, example, computer scientists, physical scientists, engineers, product designers. You come to the organization with some kind of a knowledge that you have. Okay, some kind of a knowledge that you have. Now, how do you get the knowledge? You get information first. You study some information and that becomes your knowledge. Knowledge worker employment issues. Unique working arrangement and performance motivation requirements. Sometimes autonomous work, strong identification with professional standards, and continual updating the skills. Sometimes you need to get certification that you really have the knowledge. Okay, especially with computers. Every 3 years you have to recertify, or the nurses or the doctors, they have to keep on certifying that they still have the knowledge on what to do in specific situations. Okay, so specifically individual tailored compensation and packages. And then there are growth opportunities, profit sharing, and less bureaucracy. So this is now the new way of to treat knowledge workers. Now, outsourcing, okay, sometimes practice hiring other firms to do the work previously performed by the organization itself. When this work is moved overseas, when you put it in another country, it's called offshoring. Advantages of outsourcing: help firms focus on core activities instead of doing other things. You just let the other countries do it for you, and lower labor costs, exploration, exportation of work. Sometimes there are countries that they can do the work, but it's cheaper to do it. We can do it here, but it's cheaper to do it in another country. So what are the disadvantages? Sometimes, especially in the United States, the white Americans are so scared that everybody's getting their jobs. Okay, we're not really getting their jobs, or nobody's getting their jobs. Okay, huh? You know, if they want to do the job, they can do it. Okay, and then sometimes this is the reduction of domestic job opportunities. They're so scared. Oh, everybody's getting our jobs. No, nobody's getting your job. Offshoring, outsourcing workers in another country, another labor cost, lower labor cost. Okay, if you had it done in some other uh, poor country, okay, you pay less. Okay, now what is the disadvantages? Result of lost jobs in the home country. Well, actually, in the United States, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to clean the garden every day, or and then we have other controversial issues, politics. Sometimes some people are scared that some people are getting their jobs. That's not true. Okay, temporary and contingency workers, and then workforce. Tiered workforce, when one group of organization workforce are contractual arrangement in the organization objectively from another group performing the same jobs when the contracts are negotiated at different times. So we have temporary workers and contingency workers. A person who works for an organization of something other than the permanent or full-time employees, other than, uh, that's how they make money. That's how they make money. Nobody is nobody is full-time. And then the psychological contract. A person with a person sets expectation regarding he or she will contribute to the organization and what the organization in return will provide to the individual. Okay, individuals contribute effort, skills, ability, and time and loyalty. Okay, organizations produce inducement in form of tangible and intangible rewards. So this is psychology. The employee want or needs something from the organization. Okay, and then that employee is going to contribute their effort, skills, ability, time, and loyalty. Okay, so this is the how do you work together in this American environment? I call this American environment. Okay, so here is the psychological contract here. This is what you give as an employee, and this is what you get. Sometimes, okay, sometimes. Okay. Now, after reading this chapter, what did we talk about? Diversity, culture. Okay. These are some of the questions that you can answer after reading this chapter. If you cannot answer this, read it again, or you can call me up. Actually, you can call me up by phone, and I will discuss this with you. My phone number is 626-233-0984. So call me up if you have any questions and you cannot answer these questions. Call me up and we will talk about it. Okay. Thank you. And